calluses are peeling, the heavy skin is raw. I am fighting with the physics of a heavy silent law. I'm trying to pull your ghost out of the heavy wooden neck, but the complicated fingering is turning to a wreck. The humidity is warping up the tension of the wood. I cannot make the instrument behave the way it should. There is blood upon the fretboard, a heavy copper stain, a physical translation of a deeply hidden pain. I'm pushing on the steel until the heavy fingers break, because physical exhaustion is the only cure to take. You cannot write the sorrow with a gentle, easy hand. You have to bleed the melody into the heavy land. I try to play it softly, a gentle little hum, but the heavy dark emotion left the heavy fingers numb. So I tune the heavy string down a quarter of a step and abandon all the music that the heavy mind had gripped. I am striking at the center with a heavy jagged nail, listening to the hollow body heavily exhale. There is blood upon the fretboard, a heavy copper stain, a physical translation of a deeply hidden pain. I'm pushing on the steel until the heavy fingers break, because physical exhaustion is the only cure to take. You cannot write the sorrow with a gentle, easy hand. You have to bleed the melody into the heavy land. The strings are cutting deeper than the heavy words could go, a violent extraction in the heavy undertow. It isn't about the music, it isn't about the art. It's a desperate operation on a heavy broken heart. Wipe the steel, leave the stain, a heavy monument to the heavy pain. Keep playing, keep bleeding.
I bought a heavy notebook from the market down the street. To chronicle the timeline of this heavy, dark defeat. I wrote a heavy line about the phantom weight I feel, but looking at the paper, it just doesn't look as real. The words are sitting flat upon the heavy lined page. A terrible translation of a heavy, quiet rage. Because the ink is way too thin to hold the heavy dark, it cannot capture anything beyond a heavy mark. You cannot trap a ghost inside a heavy printed word. The depth of the reality is beautifully blurred. I am staring at the lyrics that I wrote an hour ago and throwing out the paper in the heavy undertow. I tried a heavy metaphor about the heavy rain, but it just sounds like a cliche of a heavy standard pain. The poetry is failing, the heavy language dies. It cannot hold a candle to the heavy absent eyes. I scratch the heavy pen across the center of the sheet. Until the paper tears and the destruction is complete. Because the ink is way too thin to hold the heavy dark, it cannot capture anything beyond air. Every mark, you cannot trap a ghost inside a heavy printed word. The depth of the reality is beautifully blurred. I am staring at the lyrics that I wrote an hour ago and throwing out the paper in the heavy There is no heavy alphabet to spell out what I lost. There is no heavy ledger that can calculate the cost. I am reduced to humming in the heavy empty air, a wordless heavy melody to navigate despair. Tear the page, drop the pen, start the heavy humming all over again. The ink is thin, the silence wins. microphone is positioned, the heavy room is still. I have to capture everything to prove the heavy will. I press the glow button and I play the heavy track, pouring all the memory and the heavy sorrow back. But when I play the playback through the heavy studio head, the voice that I am hearing sounds completely, totally dead. So I am erasing the tape, I am wiping it clean. It sounds like an actor in a heavy scripted scene. The emotion was a forgery, the heavy tone was fake. It didn't have the gravity of the heavy real ache. I will not let the digital machine record a lie. I press the heavy button and I watch the signal die. The performance was too perfect, the heavy pitch was right, but it lacked the heavy friction of the middle of the night. You cannot sing the trauma with a heavy polished grace. It needs the raw exhaustion of a heavy desperate face. I loosen up the strings and let the heavy tuning fall, preparing for a version that will shatter through the wall. So I am erasing the tape, I am wiping it clean. It sounds like an actor in a heavy scripted scene. The emotion was a forgery, the heavy tone was fake. It didn't have the gravity of the heavy real ache. I will not let the digital machine record a lie. I press the heavy button and I watch the signal try again. Find the heavy center of the heavy pain. Wipe the tape, keep it real.
I place the heavy index on the heavy second fret, a calculated anchor for a heavy dark regret. The middle finger stretches to a heavy distant space, creating the geometry of a heavy empty place. I do not have to sing a word to make the heavy point. The sorrow is located in the heavy knuckle joint. This is the raw anatomy of a heavy minor chord, a structural defense against a heavy absent lord. It drops the expectation, it flattens out the third, communicating everything that cannot be a word. I let the heavy dissonance vibrate inward. A heavy dark language completely understood. The major keys are arrogant. They try to force a smile. They haven't walked the pavement for a heavy, lonely mile. But this specific fingering allows the heavy grief to blossom in the room without a heavy false relief. I hold the heavy shape until the hand begins to cram, a solitary beacon in the heavy, humid dam. This is the raw anatomy of a heavy minor chord, a structural defense against a heavy absent lord. It drops the expectation, it flattens out the third, communicating everything that cannot be a word. I let the heavy dissonance vibrate in the wood. A heavy dark language completely understood. We build a heavy house completely out of sound, because the physical reality has burned unto the ground. I live inside the I wrote the heavy verse with a heavy, steady hand. I built the heavy bridge exactly as the heavy mind had planned. But every time I reach the heavy center of the song, the breathing in my heavy chest begins to go on. The words are sitting right there on the heavy wooden stand, but they require something that the body cannot command. I am choking on the chorus, I cannot let it out. It feels exactly like a heavy, suffocating doubt. To sing the heavy truth is to make it heavy real, to validate the everything I do not want to feel. The melody is waiting, but the heavy throat is tight, surrendering the climax to the heavy silent night. The rhythm keeps on going, the heavy guitar plays, marching through the center of the heavy dark haze. But the vocal is absent, a heavy gaping hole, a failure of the courage in the heavy battered soul. I try to force a whisper, I try to force a hum, but the center of the chest is completely, heavily numb. I am choking on the chorus, I cannot let it out. It feels exactly like a heavy, suffocating doubt. To sing the heavy truth is to make it heavy real, to validate the everything I do not want to feel. The melody is waiting, but the heavy throat is tight, surrendering the climax to the heavy silent just the strings, just the wood, the heavy silent failure understood. Choke the word, hold the breath.
I didn't pack the heavy bags, I didn't leave the room. I am trapped inside the heavy acoustic driven tune. But every time I strike the heavy center of the strings, the heavy hollow body opens up and heavily sings. It isn't just the resonance of heavy aging spruce. It is a heavy spirit breaking from the heavy news.
There is a heavy ghost living in the sound hole dark, waiting for the fingers to create a heavy spark. I hear your heavy voice inside the vibrating of the bass, a sonic apparition floating in the heavy space. I am trying to write a song to put the heavy past to bed, but the instrument is keeping it heavily fed. I put my heavy hand against the circular design, trying to block the frequency from crawling up the spine. But the wood remembers every heavy song we used to play. It refuses to forget the heavy, beautiful decay. I am playing a duet with a heavy, absent friend, a heavy, dark loop that refuses to completely end. There is a heavy ghost living in the sound hole dark, waiting for the fingers to create a heavy spark. I hear your heavy voice inside the vibrating of the bass, a sonic apparition floating in the heavy space. I am trying to write a song to put the heavy past to bed, but the instrument is keeping it heavily fed. I could smash the heavy wood against the heavy concrete wall and silence the acoustic heavy memory once and all. But it is the only piece of you that still remains alive, the only heavy reason that I managed to survive. Keep playing, let it haunt. Give the heavy ghost everything it wants in the dark, in a wood.
fan is pushing heavy air across the heavy desk. The handwriting is looking like a heavy, dark grotesque. I am hunched over the lyrics like a heavy, ancient monk, trying to sort the treasure from the heavy, useless junk. The heat is overwhelming in this heavy, dark retreat. A physical embodiment of absolute defeat. A heavy drop of sweat is falling down to stain the page, blurring out the letters of my heavy, quiet rage. The physical reality is ruining the art. The heavy, humid weather tearing everything apart. The water makes the ink run in a heavy, dark stream, dissolving the geometry of a heavy, broken dream. I try to dab the heavy paper, try to save the line, but the heavy blue ink has completely crossed the spine. It looks like a heavy teardrop, but it's just the heavy heat. The heavy phenom pen midnight making everything complete. The song is being altered by the climate of the room. A collaborative effort with a heavy, humid gloom. A heavy drop of sweat is falling down to stain the page, blurring out the letters of my heavy, quiet rage. The physical reality is ruining the art. The heavy, humid weather tearing everything apart. The water makes the ink run in a heavy, dark stream, dissolving the geometry of a heavy, broken dream. I will not write it over, I will leave the heavy smear. It is the truest heavy record of exactly what is here. A perfect representation of a heavy, messy mind, leaving all the heavy, clean poetry behind. Let it blur, let it run. The heavy, messy writing is entirely done. Stain the page, walk away. The standard tuning is a heavy, bright and tuneful light, a frequency designed for a heavy blue sky. But the sky is heavy black and the rain is pouring down, washing out the color of this heavy, tired town. So I reach for the peg and I turn it to the left, matching up the instrument to a heavy, dark theft. I am tuning completely down into the heavy dark, lowering the tension, erasing every spark. The strings are getting heavy, the strings are getting slack. There is no heavy momentum, there is no turning back. I find the heavy bottom of the acoustic wooden floor, and I do not have to fake the heavy sunshine anymore. The low C string rattles on the heavy metal fret, a cussing heavy buzzing of a heavy dark regret. It sounds like a heavy engine running completely out of gas, watching the reflection of the heavy shadows pass. The song cannot be rushed when the heavy pitch is low. It forces you to sit inside the heavy undertow. I am tuning completely down into the heavy dark, lowering the tension, erasing every spark. The strings are getting heavy, the strings are getting slack. There is no heavy momentum, there is no turning back. I find the heavy bottom of the acoustic wooden floor, and I do not have to fake the heavy sunshine anymore. Drop it down, let it drag, let the heavy metal shake. It is the only heavy sound that the heavy heart can make, a subterranean frequency to navigate the grief, a heavy, dark and beautiful acoustic relief. Turn the page, grok the tone, sink completely down into the heavy bone, rattle and shake, dark and low. called you a heavy anchor, I called you a heavy shield. I wrote about the battles in a heavy open field. I used all the heavy imagery a heavy mind could steal, but none of it approaches how I actually heavily feel. The poetic heavy license is a heavy cheap trick. It makes the heavy center of the heavy stomach sick, because the heavy metaphor completely fails the test. It is just a heavy costume dressing up the heavy chest. You are not a heavy ghost, you are not a heavy rain, you are just a heavy person causing very real pain. I am stripping all the heavy poetry entirely away and forcing the acoustic heavy instrument to say, I am singing heavy facts, I am singing heavy dates, I am listing all the items left beside the heavy gates. No more heavy geometry, no more heavy dark stars, just the heavy empty bottles and the heavy empty cars. The literal reality is heavier than art, a direct heavy arrow shooting straight into the heart, because the heavy metaphor completely fails the test. It is just a heavy costume dressing up the heavy chest. You are not a heavy ghost, you are not a heavy rain, you are just a heavy person causing very real pain. I am stripping all the heavy poetry entirely away and forcing the The editing is finished, the heavy levels are all set. I have compressed every ounce of the heavy, dark regret. The final track is bouncing down the heavy digital line. A permanent heavy record of a heavy, dark design. I take the heavy headphones off and place them on the chair and realize I am sitting in the exact same heavy air. I rendered out the pain into a heavy final master, but it didn't slow the heavy beating heart from beating faster. The song is completely finished, the heavy project is complete, but I am still exactly where the heavy shadows meet. Writing out the heavy sorrow didn't cure the heavy mind. It just left a heavy acoustic artifact behind. I thought the heavy outer ramp would lead to heavy solid ground, that I could heavily escape inside the heavy dark sound. But the phantom weight is sitting right beside me on the bed. The heavy dark companion that is never truly shared. The album is a monument, but the monument is cold. A heavy dark story that is beautifully told. I rendered out the pain into a heavy final master, but it didn't slow the heavy beating heart from beating faster. The song is completely finished, the heavy project is complete, but I am still exactly where the heavy shadows meet. Writing out the heavy sorrow didn't cure the heavy mind. It just left a heavy coaster artifact behind. So I will put the heavy instrument back inside the case and learn to heavily live inside this heavy empty space. The music was a heavy crutch, the music was a friend, but the heavy dark reality is waiting at the end. Close the file, shut the screen, step right back into the heavy dark scene. The phantom weight remains, the phantom weight remains.